Om. 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 Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekanandasuraye Satchit Sukaswarupaya Swamine Tapaharine Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Namaste to all of you. Wish you all good health, strength, peace and joy at this time of the pandemic and coronavirus COVID-19 infection all over the country, world. Many people are suffering from it. Many have recovered from it. But whoever is seeing this lockdown special series of short talks, we wish all of you strength, peace, joy, your family members, friends, relatives, and sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, sarvas taratu durgani, sarvo bhadrani pashyatu, sarvas sad buddhima apnotu, sarvas sarvatra nandatu. This is our prayer. May all be happy, may all be free from diseases, difficulties, may all be happy, may all see what is good, listen what is good, and do what is good for themselves and for the whole society and country. So may Sri Ramakrishna bless all of you. May God bless all of you is my sincere prayer as the Director of Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence and a monk of the Ramakrishna Order. So there is a small point that I want to share with all of you is the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. The teachings of Swami Vivekananda, the predictions of Swami Vivekananda, the personality called Swami Vivekananda. What has he done? What has he established? What has he left behind as a legacy for all of us? This is where we need to recast our priorities, study him properly, not just appreciating him, but applying his teachings to the maximum possible extent. So there are two branches that I would like to share with you. Two branches of his lectures, his visions, his talks. In brief. There's not a time for detailed talks for classes. Whenever possible, we shall share those things more in detail. But at present, in this small video that I am sharing with you, this is a very important thing which can be explored, which can be researched in his complete works and in his life also. There are so many books that are coming out, but one point, the first point that I want to share is his 3 or 4 predictions. 3 or 4 predictions that almost have come true. At least the 3 have come true. Number 1 is his prediction that there will be chaos in Europe. Europe is sitting on a volcano of lust and luxury, he had mentioned. The references are available in the complete works and in his letters and in his conversations. Europe is sitting on a volcano of lust and luxury. They have not followed the purity, the renunciation of the great Lord Jesus Christ. Europe may crumble to pieces if it doesn't resort back to that purity and the fundamentals, the basics of Jesus Christ. Europe did not listen to the prophet, and the First World War broke the entire relationships in Europe. And the Second World War went deeper. The pangs of jealousy, hatred went deeper and created a Second World War. So this is the first prediction of Swami Vivekananda, where only selfishness, only the greed, only enjoyment came into the being. The second prediction of Swami Vivekananda was that somewhere down the line in history, as a student of history, he had predicted that there would be a proletariat revolution. The workers will rise up. And surprisingly, he had told that that revolution will come or may come from Russia or China. Even Karl Marx had predicted that the revolution may come from trade unions, from industrialized countries like Britain at the time, which had gone through the industrial revolution process. But surprisingly, Swami Vivekananda's prediction had come true. What was that? Revolution, proletariat revolution, would take place either in Russia or in China. Contrary to Marx's prognosis, the revolution, communist movement, came from Russia. How did it happen? How did Swamiji predict that? Only he can answer. Only we can find out what history happened at the time. It is difficult to say how Swamiji came to understand the truth. It is known that he had been a good student of history. His perception of historical forces was also deep and very clear. There is no contradiction, there is no doubt in what Swamiji has done. The third important prediction which Swamiji had made was in Madras, 1897, sometime in February when he was staying there. He had mentioned the fact that Mother India shall be free in the next 50 years, but that freedom shall come under some unforeseen circumstances. It seems he had asked some people, where are the men to preserve that freedom? Tomorrow I can hand over that freedom to you through the British or from the British. But where are the men? But he said, I am seeing something, I am not saying. Mother India shall be free in the next 50 years. And as students of history, go back to history between 1897 and 1947, what all happened? Unforeseen circumstances, whether it was Bengal partition, whether it was Jallianwala Bagh massacre, whether thousands and thousands of young people sent to the gallows, the revolutionaries were killed, and finally 1947, after India partition, the British gave us freedom. Swamiji's prediction came true in the third time also. Then the fourth prediction is what is in our hands, what he expected, that is, India would someday rise to great heights of prosperity and power, far more than she had done in the past. The present at the time was in gloom, was in stress under the British, but Swamiji saw the past of India at Kanyakumari. He said that is something unique that no other country has got. And when that happened, he said the present is problem. We have lost the faith, we have lost the Shraddha, but then let us learn from the past, the great lessons from the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita and the great Mahatmas of India, the great Rishis of India, and then go forward and make India bright and future. India shall conquer the world. Nothing less than that would please me, he had mentioned. We have to send waves after waves of young men and women with that spiritual personality and conquer the world with the mind and with the heart, with the power of yoga, with the power of Vedanta, which is in our hands. That is our responsibility. The youth have to take it up, the educated people have to take it up and spread this message of Vedanta in the whole world. These 3 or 4 predictions have come true, are coming true, and we shall study Swamiji from that perspective. Thank you very much.